Welcome to World of Monsters. I'm Monster Master Arthur, and join me as today we go in depth on another werewolf transformation from a movie. But this isn't just any werewolf transformation. We will be examining the werewolf transformation of American Werewolf in London, 1981. Basically the most famous of werewolf transformations. So first, let's take a look at this clip and figure out just why this scene, this moment in Hollywood history became such a hallmark, such an unforgettable work in special effects, and to this day, by many regarded as the greatest werewolf transformation and or practical effects moment in movie history.
Suddenly there appeared for me the only when I heard somebody whisper, please adore me. And when I looked, the moon had turned to gold. Help me! Please! Help me! I didn't mean to call you Meatloaf, Jack.
Alright, so the first thing I noticed was the noise, the sounds, the screaming, the breaking sounds of bone and the stretching of skin, as well as all the sweat. It's intense from the start. The genius, or as Brits would say, the brilliant combination of actor and special effect creates something so powerful that you just can't take your eyes off of. And in addition, what really grips you, the viewer, is the atmosphere that it's placed in. Crazy things happen behind closed doors in the privacy of your own home. Just remember all those times that you were sick or having a bad day or in pain or something was going on and you were all alone at home. Maybe you were by the toilet throwing up from some sickness or some crazy night and you heard that mellow music playing in the background that just kept going and going in your head along with that sickness and messed up mind moment that you were in, creating a sort of temporary trauma that later when you would hear that song, it would kind of remind you of that moment. Maybe you drank too much or you got food poisoning. And that's that moment, that atmosphere, that realistic moment that many of us have experienced throughout the length of our lives, in combination with this totally crazy, mind-blowing body transformation with the actor and practical effects basically placing you in that reality, making that reality seem more real. And what really perpetuated this was John Landis, the director, wanted the whole scene shot in high lighting. Not like most werewolf transformation scenes in movies, where you're kind of under the moonlight or darkness. This was filmed in a brightly lit room, as you can see. Obviously, this made the project much more difficult for the entire team to handle, but that's what made it more memorable. Each shot was meticulously planned and filmed, and that's what created these unforgettable moments where you see the arm extending or his body stuck in the ground and being kind of elongated. And what made those really interesting is they look unrealistic, but they look realistic at the same time. If you look at the hand extending, today we would have stuff like that done by CGI without thought, usually for movies. But this was all practical, and it was amazing. As you look at the skin and everything stretch, you can see that something doesn't connect with the actor in that moment, maybe, but that's not the point. The point was to show the reaction of the actor, what's happening with the hand, and even though today we can look back at it and say, that kind of looks fake or funny, but it's really kind of dramatic if you look at it, as well as the elongated body laying on the ground kind of extended. Obviously, at closer look, some parts of that scene may look fake, but still, it was the drama of it. It was how strong and striking that imagery was. And the actor in the combination with that special effect made it so much more gruesome and amazing to watch. And you have to give the actor credit for having his body stuck in the floor that entire day so that could be filmed properly. And what's more interesting yet is that this whole transformation scene was filmed in a week for about roughly 30 minutes worth of footage, I believe. And only 1 to 2 takes were done for each shot, which even had the special effects creator himself, Rick Baker, surprised that they didn't take more shots, which possibly, most likely would have made this an even greater and better transformation scene. But for 1981, was that really necessary? Obviously not, as this created a huge stamp in Hollywood history. Awesome tricks were utilized for the creation of this amazing clip, such as separating the hand to stretch it out to give it that effect, the body stretching out, as we mentioned, the lumping out of muscles, and the shot for the mass hair growth, which was basically a reversed film of mechanized hair growth being pulled through tiny pores. The all-over movement of the actor and effects also made this so much more compelling, as Landis, the director, wanted to get away from what the original Wolfman did with the werewolf transformation, as the werewolf sat completely stationary in a chair without moving. He realized, as to most of us, how awkward that looked and how unrealistic that was and how that pain would have been expressed. Another trick accredited to Rick Baker's experience in the field was the two-sided sculpted mid-face. One side of this kind of middle transformation face scene was sculpted as a more human, sadder face, as the other side of the face was more primal and wolf-like. And this made for an excellent strategy for the filming itself and effect. And let's not forget how totally awesome the whole werewolf concept was in An American Werewolf in London, 1981. As Rick Baker did in fact want it to be a bipedal, as I think most of us would like to have seen, but John Landis totally insisted and was set on it being a quadruped, which worked out totally fine with the rest of the crazy, angry, vicious design of the werewolf. And finally, all in all, this landed Rick Baker an Academy Award for that exceptional work. Don't forget the full-mooned, brilliant ending to the scene with the werewolf howl, composed of a human voice starting out the howl and kind of transferring and transforming into a wolf howl, the hybrid of both, creating that most realistic werewolf howl that's just totally hair-raising and blood-curdling. Part of the reason behind the creation of these small series of werewolf in-depth analysis videos is the comments section below one of my most viewed videos on the greatest werewolf transformations in movies. Now check that out. Don't only check out the video, but take a look at the comments below and you'll see what I mean. There's a lot of arguments between what people think is the best effects, which transformation from which movie is the best, and here's my kind of answer and look at it. And I'm kind of going off of a great saying that producer, creator, designer, artist, just creative mind, Guillermo del Toro, or what may be easier for some to say is Mr. Del Toro said. And keep in mind, he's one of the greatest creative minds in special effects today, represented by movies such as Hellboy and Pan's Labyrinth. And what he said was that practical effects should go as far as possible, and that CGI, computer-generated graphics and effects, should only be added in to kind of complete everything and to touch up things. And I totally agree with that. So if you ask me what's better, practical effects or computer-generated, I would say a combination, a quality combination of both. Work with the practical as far as you can, because practical it seems to have more character. It seems to have more feel if you look at practical effects, even bad practical effects. So work on that as far as you can, and then use CGI, that benefit of having computer-generated graphics to touch up small things, all those details like a wire running down or a zipper on a costume, and use the computer to kind of hide that and do the cherry on top of the complete composed effect that you're creating. I also say that bad practical effects look better than bad CGI effects. And look at it yourself. Look at older movies working with practical effects, all those cool sci-fi and fantasy movies, like the Sinbad movies and things like that, and compare that to bad CGI movies that you see on the Sci-Fi Channel, for example. Cheap CGI and not really well executed CGI just looks so bad and without character and so fake compared to bad practical effects, where you can see it's fake, but you can still see, but it's still real, and you can see that plastic stretching and all that. So it does have more character, in my opinion, but in the end, the best is a combination of both, if done with the right amount of moderation in each side. But in this particular transformation that we're analyzing today, it's a combination, again, of the actor, the directing, and the awesome special effects, practical effects, all working together to create what to this day is still assumed by most as the greatest werewolf transformation caught on film. Caught on film? It's so good we can say caught on film. No. Created for film. So let me know what you think of this transformation and what transformation you think is the best. What werewolf transformation is the best? And I'll let you know also that Rick Baker also was the director of the Michael Jackson kind of werewolf, werecat, as some say it, transformation for the Thriller song. So he was the creator of that as well, which came later, but obviously there was a higher budget and attention to that moment within this movie, making it one of the greatest, right? Now, let me know what else you would like to see. Let me know if you enjoy this channel, and by the way, you can check out my video over here about the All About Werewolf if you want to learn everything you ever wanted to know about the werewolf, the legendary, the real, the werewolf. And over here I made also a similar video with the greatest werewolf transformations about the greatest dragons of film. So if you're a dragon freak, lover, enthusiast, go check out that dragon video as well. And of course, check us out on social media and all that. But I think, and I'll also let you know for all those of you that are still here watching this, that I do plan, as our channel grows, to make my own werewolf transformation, do my own makeup, or with a partner, but I'm thinking just do it all by myself and do the best werewolf transformation effect that I can as we grow. That will be far in the future, so I don't know when that's going to happen, but if it has happened, there'll be a link over here. So if you're watching this video far in the future, that video is probably I've already done that, so check that out. I'll put the link somewhere here. So until that time, check us out on Facebook. I've got Instagram, and what's the other thing? Snapchat. Do check out the homepage for this channel, because that's where I show our levels, our milestones, how the channel's growing, and you can see many other monster videos. So check that all out. Leave us a comment, leave us a like if this was worth your time, at least a little bit. And until next time, this has been Monster Master Arthur.